What's the matter, Stan? You seem down.
I can't concentrate because my dog is gay.
Well, you know what they say. You can't teach a gay dog straight tricks.
Welcome back, everyone, to South Park in the Dark, a show where me and my buddy Swag are watching every single episode of South Park and giving our thoughts week after week, episode after episode, on each and every one of these episodes, thoughts, feelings, the evolution, all that shit. So, I'm Chaz the Chaz Swag, your host, and with me is our co-host, Swag.
Howdy, everybody.
Whoa.
How you doing, Chase?
I'm doing pretty well.
Awesome. Any big events happening recently, or anything? Any big news like to share?
Oh, Luffy was in the Thanksgiving parade. Monkey D. Luffy had a float. That's big for anime.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that all the big news you want to share?
Didn't you get laid?
I did get laid.
Nice. That's
good times.
Yeah, so that's big. Oh, I had a kid. I had a baby.
You had a kid?
Yep.
Oh, Sora.
Yeah. I had a kid 9 days ago. Yep, and he's little, and he's loud, and he poops, and he eats, and he sleeps. And he's funny as hell. This kid got funny, comedic timing. Really proud of him. And he gets good taste in music. So, there's all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, you will very soon, hopefully. Maybe after we're done recording, in fact. Maybe I'll take a camera in for you. But, yeah. Despite all this, though, I've had a lot of time to watch TV. So I was able to easily get these 2 episodes in last night. Took some notes, did the whole thing. So I'm pretty excited.
Nice.
I got a lot of thoughts and to talk about with this one. So we should probably get moving because I don't know. I don't want to go too long, but I do have deep thoughts on some of the notes I have.
Ooh,
somewhat, not deep, but you'll understand when we get there. So unless you have anything to share about yourself, I'm gonna dive in.
That's the highlight of my life in the past few weeks, so I'm good there. Yeah.
All right, then. First, we're gonna talk about episode 4 of South Park, Big Gay Al's Gay Boat Ride. First aired on September 3rd, 1997.
Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride.
Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride. Big Gay. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just reading how I wrote it down. Yeah, I really like this. Have you seen this one? I know a lot of these early ones you're new to.
I really can't recall all too well. But yeah, I'm not sure if I have, because there's a lot of things that I took notes on just because I'm like, wow, I was surprised that, the boys played football.
Sure, yeah, pretty quick, pretty early on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, holy shit, they're doing shit like that. So yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen this one.
Cool. Well, I love that some of these are really new for you. I've seen it before, but I don't know if I've ever watched it in order, so it's kind of fun. This is one of the first episodes, I think, out of the 4 that we watched. It's the one that really feels like modern South Park in a way. I feel like they've caught their stride. They know what their jokes are, and they know what they're doing at this point. And it's only 4 episodes in, but that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I had early on, Chef is getting a lot of big roles,
Oh yeah,
and in the show, Chef is a
main character.
Yeah,
really,
as much as the boys.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's the football coach, and it's like you gotta play football like you make love.
Yeah.
Keep that going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they don't stop with that. They do it really hard in these early episodes. And it's pretty good. That song was funny and good. I have a note here about situations like that, about how so far at least when he starts doing it, Kyle is always the one to be like, Chef, snap out of it. So that's another one, a running joke that they kind of got going on so far. Chef just breaks down in this sex talk for no reason about anything, and Kyle stops him.
Yeah. Kyle's usually the voice of reason for most of these.
Yeah. This episode, for me personally, it was one that so many jokes in it, I really just connected to why I'm the way I am. The way I make jokes. This episode of South Park showed me this comes from a very early place. You know what I mean? This is one that influences my brand of comedy now to this day.
Oh, okay.
I say that particularly with, for instance, one of my favorite scenes of this episode is when Dan talks to Mr. Garrison about his gay dog, and Mr. Garrison just gives him this fucking hate speech about how gay people are evil. And they got black tar pumping through their those kind of jokes are things I make about groups of people to be fun, joking. You know what I mean? When we make fun of Brent, we'll say shit like that too. we don't really mean it, but it's funny. And I just feel like that's South Park doing that same kind of humor. And I just thought I love that. And Mr. Hat's the one actually that like yells at him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that I can see that from you. Because like, I can ask you a serious question and then you just go on a tangent. This awful, awful illustration of how you feel or how you want to respond to me or anybody. So yeah, I can see how that's your humor has evolved from South Park and mainly this episode. And I haven't like it's just so much fun to watch Mr. Garrison become more unhinged.
Yeah.
As he says these things.
But right from the beginning, he's been this. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like he's trying to kill that one lady.
Yeah.
And then he's just super hate gays. But man, I did love confronting him later.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't you gay?
Yeah. So even early on as that, they were like, this character is gay, but this is how we're going to go about it. He's actually a closeted, like deep in the closet gay man right now.
Well, I'm wondering if they had like a goal for him or like what, or they just it was like a wild card character because, we see where he gets to be. And we even see the next episode with Mr. Garrison, some of the things he does. It's like, what the fuck? This guy is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if they had it because like, I think they do they do the transition to him being gay for quite some time before he actually does. So I think they at least had that plan. Because I referenced it, I think in the last episode, there is an episode somewhere in like season 2, possibly 3, where he like is mad at his dad for not molesting him. And he like makes him molest him. It's part of it. So like, I don't know. I think they had that plan and then they just went fucking bonkers with it as things in the world kind of came to light. He has a sex change around when things like that started to be prominent. So that was just a thought I had about it. Ultimately, I guess we should probably explain the overall plot of the episode is Stan's dog is gay, fucking all the animals except the girls. He wears the girls' jewelry. And the South Park Cows have a big football game coming up against West Park, and Jimbo is betting on Stan. It's
covering the spread, the 70-point spread. And he's getting everyone else to bet with them.
Yeah, I love it. And right out the gate, you got the dog show up, starts humping the other. I think your dog's gay. I think your dog's a gay homosexual, Carmen says.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, like, I really enjoyed this episode because this is one of the first episodes I think that has a like 2 different plots going on, like a subplot with the football team, but
almost 3.
Dan's dog, yeah,
because Jimbo is also like the bomb plot.
Which, oh my god, what the fuck? I didn't realize Jimbo was this unhinged early on, just gonna kill the other elementary school students so he can win a bet.
Definitely, yeah. He's more in the show now, like definitely earlier. You see him less nowadays than you did earlier on.
Right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So I have that on here. That was crazy to see. But yeah, like, there's multiple parts going on, and there's always, I love when South Park does this. They have these 2 separate plots, but there's a bridge, and Stan is that bridge, obviously. Going to see Sparky or really just hanging out with Big Gay Al, and coming back and winning the game. Yeah, Jimbo kills elementary school kids. I mean, they just loop the horse right at the end.
Fucking Richard Stamos. Yeah, I love like the design they have for Richard Stamos. Like he doesn't look like a South Park character, but he just designed really goofy. Thinking that's fun.
Yeah.
Here was something that went on during this episode that I think if I have a note for the next episode that I'm going to talk about in more detail and why I think this was the case that I'm going to call this episode out for. But there's a random subplot in the episode where Pip is just mistreated. Like. There's no like context to it at all. Chef won't give him a helmet, and like everybody just is a douche to him, and you're not really sure where that comes from, honestly, because it's kind of the first episode that Pip is named and has a speaking line.
Right.
That was something I caught. Like they just kept making jabs at Pip, and it never got out.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to evolve into something early on, because I would imagine that like they just hated the British kid.
Well, I found out where it came from with what I looked into in the next episode. So I will answer this question. I just wanted to pose it early because this is what I thought as I was watching it. Why Pip? I like that Dan is the quarterback. He's a star quarterback, and Mr. Garrison doesn't give him like the tension or a bad grade on his speech that he wasn't ready for, because like that's just them jabbing humor. Like that's what schools do. They take care of the sport kids.
Right. Well, and
and in life.
Stan's right. Stan has this like such a lead character, main character role in these first few episodes, which I find kind of odd, because it dives into a point where I guess Cartman gets that way later on. A few more seasons down the road, like Cartman becomes such a main part of the plot, or Kyle and Stan are on an adventure, or
Sure.
Kyle has internal conflict with whatever he's got going on.
Yeah.
And Kenny just dies. And Kenny dies by football in this game.
He gets ripped apart.
He gets ripped apart.
Nobody cares. They actually just make a un-PC joke about it, which we'll get to that part too, but keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm just, Stan being the quarterback. It struck me like, oh my God, the kids play football. Stan's the quarterback. He's getting, and then the next episode is kind of the same situation where, he is the main character of the show, and I think Trey Parker was designing Stan based on like his.
I think so too, and I think Kyle is actually
Matt Stone.
Matt Stone, yeah, or vice versa. I'm pretty sure.
I have the wiki up. I can probably find this.
I've looked into that in the past before, and I'm pretty sure it's that way. So, yeah, that's why you kind of do see that dynamic on these early episodes, which I always like, because that's how I still, to this day, kind of look at South Park, even though they don't use the boys the same way as they used to. I still see Dan and Kyle as the main characters. I mean, Cartman and Kenny too, but like those guys overall. But yeah, and I think throughout this season we're gonna keep seeing more of that.
Oh yeah, Stan is voiced by Trey Parker, and Kyle's voiced by Matt Stone.
I thought so, which is cool. I mean, that's what you want to do with art. Is that seemed to have paid off for them very well.
Yeah, and it grows to place. It grows in places that. Honestly, no one would see coming, later in the seasons. Like they've done a great job of just building South Park into a universe.
Yeah, that's a great word. More than just a little fucking mountain town. It's the whole...
a little po-bunt mountain town.
Yeah,
it's a fuck.
Definitely. They start with humble beginnings, truly. But it's funny. I wanted to say about the sports thing is like, I've personally gone through like that sort of situation. I remember when I was in middle school, I let a friend of mine copy off of my spelling words, and we got busted after weeks of this went on for a while. He sat behind me. I would put it in the corner. I'd write it. He was a wrestler. I was just me. We were friends. So like we sat at lunch together, and like I would just want to help my friend out. And we got busted, and I got into so much more trouble than him. So much more trouble than him. I got suspended. I had to write an essay on cheating, and I don't know what he got. I think he got like couple 2.5 hours after school. Like, that was it. It was just
got suspended.
I got suspended in 7th grade.
Oh my God.
7th grade. I was traumatized by this, dude, because I was getting called to the office about it all the time. I was like handing a paper in at one point, and that same teacher like wrote me up again because she thought I was letting this one kid cheat off of me, and I was like, no, I don't even like this fucking kid. I like my friend that I like. It was crazy. And anytime like the beep would go off for an announcement or anything, I thought it was going to be me getting called to the office again because like my mom and dad knew about the situation and were fucking furious. And like we had a meeting with the principal. It was fucking insane, dude. Fucking insane.
Just because there's 7th grade cheating.
I was horrified to go to school after this situation. I was horrified. I remember bawling my eyes out trying to skip school one day to go Christmas shopping with my mom because of all of this. I didn't end up liking school again until 8th grade, and I was like past it. It fucks with me. And it's just like right there. I got more trouble than a kid that wrestled. Sports are more important from the fucking ground up.
Man, this is why you
and they make a joke at that in this episode. I didn't expect to get so deep today, but
that's why you had a lot of feelings. Man, you really.
I did.
This episode was a big one for you.
Sure was. Yeah, I got loads of notes for both episodes. Really, I'm really proud of myself.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That's not fair, especially getting suspended. I think it's the wildest part.
It's okay now. To this day, my mom, like when she brings up that kid's name, I'm like, Butch is a good dude. Like we're so much older now. I like Butch. Like we stayed friends. It wasn't his fucking fault.
Yeah, really. Just ridiculous.
He's a nice guy. But to this day, my mom likes it. And it's like, don't blame the kid. Blame the fucking system that you tried to fight and lost to. But totally side tangent there. Just wanted to get into that real quick. I think you were saying something that I also wanted to comment. I remember this was an episode. This is the first time that Kyle is referred to as a Jew. And Cartman even makes a Jew joke at him, I believe.
So Cartman doesn't.
Cartman doesn't?
No, but
the announcers say, or somebody said, a little Jewish boy.
I haven't seen a Jew run like that since Poland in 1938.
Yes, that dude was so fucking funny. Hey, well, stop! Like, he just busts these little...
Well, I had to look up all the little things he was saying, like, all right, I don't know about this, current event topic, so But it's all fucking terrible. It's all
PC.
terrible. Yeah.
It's kind of funny, man. You think like PC culture and talk like that has spawned just in the past 10 years, but like they say things like that. I didn't even know pride parades were a thing until much later. Like the two motherfuckers, what are their name? Bill and Fozy, they keep picking on Kyle's dog, and they're like, "What is he gonna go to a pride parade?" I was like, "Wow, yeah." There's a lot of that.
Yeah, I think, those things have just gotten so much bigger after, the 2010s, where in 1987, it was such a wild thing to even have, like, a pride parade, like,
Right.
in a city or a common thing, yeah.
And then to, like, just make a joke about it I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, so that's something I didn't get on the characters we meet this episode, and Bill and Fozy are two of them. There's also Pip, Clyde, Big Gay Al, West Park Elementary, because those kids become big characters throughout the early days, and Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus had a huge part.
He does. Oh man, Jesus and pals. I remember this, but like they don't do this joke anymore ever, and like it's a big part of the early South Park days, and I'm so glad we got introduced to it in this episode.
To be honest, I was surprised they put Jesus in his talk show in the 4th episode.
Yeah.
Where, they're building a show and it's, pretty obvious that the adults are ridiculous, unhinged, stupid in a lot of ways. But then they just throw up Jesus is alive. He's talking to everybody. Like, he's in the stands at the football game.
Yeah, what does he say to Jimmy? He's like, "Hey, leave me alone," or something like that.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Yeah, and I like that they ask Jesus his thoughts on like gay people, and just as he's about to give him, it cuts off.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny and smart. It's funny that he's he's a South Park character. He's his own character, and I love it. I love it. I'm pissed that we don't see him as much in days now. God, when they do that fucking Justice League with all the religious leaders in like the later season, I fucking love that episode. So Clyde speaks in this episode, but I don't know if you caught it, but one, that's not Clyde's like voice, and it's more Butters. It certainly is the Butters voice actor, and probably like he talks kind of like Butters. Not entirely, but it's certainly there.
Yeah, it really kind of catches you off guard when he speaks. You're like, that's not Clyde.
Right. Yeah. Oh, immediately. Clyde has a very voice. So that was something. So they're still figuring things out. We're getting characters. They're, solving them.
Well, they're figuring the friends out, or they're developing a core between like Jimbo, Ned, the boys, Chef, Mr. Garrison. So, yeah, they're really developing a core around these like handful and a half characters.
Yeah. So I'm going to be looking forward to like when Clyde becomes Clyde and when Butters speaks or just anything like that, because I just thought that was interesting. A quote I wrote down from this episode is just, Chef says, "You can't teach a gay dog straight tricks."
Yeah. Oh man.
I just thought that was a funny line. Just the zingers. This episode is just full of like zingers and good lines and also a good message, because the whole thing of Stan going to Big Gay Al's places and going on the boat ride is he's learning about like it isn't a choice to be gay is the message of the episode.
Right. Yeah, there are so many moments where I just like had a good LOL. Like when he's going through the animals and Big Gay Al's like, and this is our gay lion. Rawr.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
They
had these one-liners. They have these one-liners. This means the Jesus saying, "What do you feel about gay people?" And it just cuts off. You're like, God damn it! Like, yeah, I think this has had a lot of good little jokes. We just gotta go.
They're going down the boat ride, and he's like, "These are the oppressors," and it's Nazis, Christians, and Republicans.
Yes. Oh my God, dude! I'm actually surprised they put that in there.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Solid. Yeah, I think that's what put this show on the map so early on in 1997. Like, oh shit, this show fucking goes there.
Our psycho-political beliefs that are like underlined, like, oh wow, these are pretty strong statements that we just say hush hush in 97.
Yeah, so that was I loved it. I was fully into this episode 100%.
I'd like to hear Brent's opinion on this episode.
Maybe when we see him, we can, that's how we think. When things are gay, we're just like, our gay friend will probably like that because it's gay.
Oh, I think he loses his mind at that whole bit with the oppressors.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he probably would really like this episode. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I really wanted to say about it. But
I have a couple of unique notes.
Yeah. Go ahead. That's all mine for this one.
So one thing I didn't realize that Ned has an arm in this episode.
Mm,
Or yeah, it's two arms, I should say. So he's got like a mechanical right arm in this episode.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that was there before.
Yeah, well, I think they switch. I think sometimes he has the stump, and then sometimes it switches to that arm. I think it depends on the
That's-
situation. I could be wrong.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. 'Cause I don't remember that being too prevalent later in seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys play football? Yeah, being ripped to shreds. And then in the stands, 2 aliens can be seen in the football game.
Alien Watch. Nice.
Yeah, so
Forgot you were on
and
Alien Watch.
Yeah, I'm trying to really stay focused on the background, and if there's a big crowd, just slowly like watch it a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really quick. I mean, they do these things super quick, so
I'm
I
glad you're
paused it at
watching for
moment.
that.
Yeah,
Because I took a lot of notes last
It's-
night, and I found myself, I was watching it, but I was missing things because I was looking down at my notebook.
right. So yeah, that's the first instance. I'm really curious to see like what other ones we missed in the past few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Couple more things. I always liked that the alphabet in Mr. Garrison's room.
Yeah.
It's A B C D E F, and then backwards it's what Z Y W
Mhm.
B U B U.
Mm-hmm.
F and U line up, so it's always been F U.
Right. Oh, that's a
And
good.
this is
Oh, I
yeah,
never
this is
got
the
that.
first episode they ever showed that. The previously it was uppercase and lowercase like in AABB, but
Mhm.
now they changed it so FU is the first episode of them showing that.
I like that. Later on, I think they
I-
had like weird paintings like with the letters. I think that are just like real life things. I think that shows up eventually.
like animal or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's one moment I think they do that. In my last note, do you know who voices the dog? We can't like we have to talk about this.
I don't. Barky.
Yeah, Sparky. Sparky is voiced by George Clooney.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I wonder how they managed that.
I think I don't recall too well how it happened, but I think he was interested in becoming part of the show, and they said, "Well, we can give you the voice of the dog, who's gay." And he goes, "Yeah, sure." So he says "woof."
Yeah.
At one point.
Yep.
And that's it. George Clooney says "woof" and is in South Park history.
Damn.
Yeah,
Look what he went on to do.
I know.
Never
right?
say never.
dude. It just catapulted his
Yeah, that's what did
whole
it.
career.
That.
Yeah, not his looks.
Yeah. The same
Not
year
his looks.
Batman and Robin came out, he voiced a dog in South Park. I could be wrong on
yeah.
that year.
Was he in Batman?
Yeah, he's Batman in Batman and Robin.
Nah. I
Or
honestly
no,
don't know.
Batman. I think Batman Forever.
You learn something new every day.
So, great episode. A round of applause. I was thoroughly entertained. I think with that, we have our next episode, An Elephant Makes Love to a Pig, first airing September 10th, 1997.
It appears that the horrible, destructive creature is actually 8-year-old Stan Marsh of South Park. When asked why he was wreaking such havoc on his hometown, the little boy replied simply, "Me, Stan, but chomp, but chewy chomp, but chewy chomp." Back to you in the studio.
And I think this episode just continued that same trajectory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually enjoyed the last episode more, I would say.
Okay, I think I did
but-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did remember watching this one just because of the clone stand that pops up out of you can't forget him.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, Shelly is introduced.
Sure, yeah, we get Shelly, we get Terrence, not to be confused with Terrence and Phillip. Terrence Mephisto, I guess, would be his name. And
Mhm.
Dr. Mephisto. We get Kevin, his little fairy monk helper guy.
Which they never actually acknowledged, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think they say their names.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of good jokes too in this. All of Cartman's sexist comments.
Right.
He's just trying to solve mean, womanizing things to stay until it evolves to the end where you find out he's just scarred from his mom being a whore. So that was a
It's the
fun
world
little
building.
side plot going along with what this episode's ultimately about. Stan is getting beat up at home by Shelly, and also they have to win the science fair. They're going to do this by making a pig and an elephant, some type of fusion that ultimately leads to them having to make love.
Was the elephant introduced as Kyle's like emotional support elephant?
No,
I'm not too sure why. I mean,
he just has
this
it.
one.
He just has an elephant.
Yeah, this one's really out there. Honestly, if you kind of just like the start of it, he just has an elephant.
Has an
Didn't
elephant.
explain the backstory. Really. Then they just leave the elephant there. We don't see the elephant again till late in the episode.
Yeah,
Um,
I think their pets are just showing up, just like in the last episode where Dan's dog just happened to show up.
Yeah.
Kyle has an elephant.
a lot of animal sex early on in the show.
Yeah, sex in general, I suppose.
Right? Yeah.
I like that when they introduce him, because they don't introduce him as Kyle's support animal. They introduce him to the bus driver, Mrs. Crabtree, as one of the retarded kids. That's what they say. Quote, one of the retarded kids. And then it's a scene of their, oh, sorry, honey. Like, she gets real nice. She's like, your bus is coming. And it shows a small bus. And they're just like
Yeah.
full-blown 1990s humor of just special need children.
Well, I think the one
And
kid
I
had, like,
laughed.
2 faces, like a growth on it.
Dude,
Actually, I'm gonna go back.
I couldn't
to that
even make
scene
it
now.
all. Somebody was like hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
It was just like that Good Burger level of just making fun of the mentally ill.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. I mean, you got this one kid. I have the scene up here. One kid with another head growing out of the back of his head. Even the kid
Yes.
upside down. There's the blind kid in the back with a wheelchair on the back of the bus. This is 90s humor.
Oh,
It's the peak.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Because now they've become better at it and more tasteful. Timmy and Jimmy, and whenever they do this kind of humor, it's well done. It's not so just that, which I still thought was funny. I'm not gonna it's not right, but I laughed at it.
I mean, this
It's
is
South
I
Park.
think pretty tame.
Yeah.
They're just not obviously like just going after them. There's kind of this one little scene. I think that what they do later is actually much more tasteful.
Fair. So that's kind of how we get introduced to the elephant, and then also like they just are like, yeah, Cartman just happens to have a pot-bellied pig,
Yeah.
and he has one, and he has one because they're small. They decide that they need to genetically modify these animals.
Right. Yeah. You go on an elephant, they can fit in your house. Yeah. There's in the back of the classroom. There's a bulletin board with the kids' animals, and Sparky's on there.
Mhm.
By Stan, the potbelly pig, by Carmen. Then there's an alien who's drawn by.
Oh my god, Alien Watch! Whenever you do that, it's gonna be my thing. Yeah, I'll just go
All right,
Alien
Jeff.
Watch.
There you go. I like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I love. I never even knew that Carmen had a pig.
You don't need to. Al's got an elephant. Carmen's got a pig. Deal with it. Keep up. And then there's the subplot of Stan getting his ass beat at home by Shelly. He's got the black eye. And all that's going on. And Mr. Garrison tries to talk to him about it. Just another, boom, South Park humor at its finest. Goes to have a really serious talk. Ask about his mom and dad. Says it's his sister. Get the fuck out of here, your sister.
Yeah, you fucking pussy. You're the fuck up.
Give me my hot cocoa back. Classic. Love it. I feel like a lot of lines I thought these were like, somebody calls somebody a plebeian at one point and then a mongoloid at another point. So I just think those are fun words. I wanted to quote them for this episode.
Plebeian, is that actually a word, or was that something created?
No, a plebe, like a pleb.
I know a pleb, but like, is it like plebeian's the actual?
Yeah, plebeian's the actual word.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard. I just said pleb before. So.
Right, yeah, no, that's just a shortened version of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it was fun. Big words. Big words are
right.
fun.
Mongoloid.
Yeah. So
Fifth graders back then. Wow, Mongoloid. I'm
Right,
gonna call everyone a
right.
Mongoloid from now on.
I think they're like third graders right now too. Like they grow up throughout
I
the
know.
season, but I think they're just in third grade. Yeah, so that was fun. I like hearing things like that. What else? What do you got?
Yeah, so it's the first instance of the entire Marsh family. Stan and his wife popped in. What is Stan's mom's name?
Sharon. Yeah.
Sharon. Yeah, Sharon. They popped in because Stan's wrecking the town.
I read a note when I was
Yeah.
looking into this episode, when I was looking into another thing about it, that no name is given, but I guess her name in this episode, like in the credits, is Carol. They change it probably the next time, but yeah.
Yeah. Carol. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't really look any further than that, but when I saw it, I was like, oh.
Is this the first time we see Sharon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was fun.
I mean, establishing Randy and Sharon as Stan's parents.
Uh-huh.
Know, before Randy was in the volcano one, but had no connection to Stan.
No connection. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah, and then here's where I want to say I want to get this out of the way. The thing I called the episode out for before with Pip, in the last episode. So in this episode, there's a scene where they're in the lunch line, and Pip comes up, and there's this kind of out of place scene with Pip, and they just shit on him for no reason.
Right.
So I looked at it because not only did it seem out of place, but it looked out of place. The animation looked different. And I was like, that looks like episode 1. So I looked into it, and what I found out was this was a cut scene from the premiere episode to save time, and they threw it into this episode because there's a later moment in the same kind of scene sequence where something gets like thrown at Pip, and it's like
it's a foot.
Right. So it just kind of works in that moment because they could place it there because Pip's going to be there anyway. So since that got cut out, you learn in the first episode that people just are mean to Pip for no reason. But because they cut it and moved it, it was weird in the episode before that.
Yeah, you're so right. So I'm watching this now, and I thought it was weird that
Their mouths just look different.
Their mouths look different. They're hiding each character kind of behind Cartman.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're still on a line. They're acknowledging Pip. Yeah, interesting. Lunchy Munchies, and yeah, it's out of place where he's like Lunchy Munchies. Pip has never been like eccentric, so I think they used all this scene to like fill it in, and then yeah, that's an interesting catch. Good.
Yeah.
Good job
as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'll look into that, and I just wonder if they'll use more of what they cut in later episodes, and I want to keep an eye out for shit like that.
Yeah, especially if we can really tell the difference.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was something. 2-parter information. I like that everybody references the Loverboy song like they know it. It's not a real song, but they all quote it and sing it as like advice to give.
Elephant can't fuck a pig.
Yeah, like they always say.
Yeah, I like the first episode. There's a lot of music.
Yeah,
I think Trey Parker's really putting his music degree to work on this first season.
Well, definitely. Yeah, if you got a character like Chef, you got to use him like that. And I love that he like first his advice for them to have like what he does. Chef, he gets them good and drunk.
Yeah.
I have some friends that have that same approach. So that's funny. And then he sings another love song to get them in the mood. Elton John shows up.
Yeah, good little cameo.
I got a crack up out of that. And
by Sir Alan.
Chef is good at what he does because not only does it inspire the elephant to make love to the pig, but you see that everybody in town is starting to have sex. Like you see their shadowy silhouettes outside their windows.
Yeah, they put a lot of detail on that because I think every single couple's having different positions of sex too.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking around, I'm like, oh wow, they're not just making this, they're not lazy about how characters fucking the show.
They're using all of their material at once.
Yeah. What did you think of the what's the guy's name? What's the scientist's name? Mephisto. Yeah, all of his animals have 4 asses.
Yeah.
That's an interesting little piece of creativity.
Yeah.
All of them have 4 asses.
They fuck around with him for a while. Mephisto's around doing weird scientist shit. Many of the early episodes. He's brought in like a freak. He kind of levels out in later episodes, but he is a fucking absolute freak villain character in this.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really focused on him in this episode. So now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, oh, this guy is fucking a lunatic. A good little side character.
Terrence's dad.
Yeah, which does Terrence stick around?
Here and there.
Okay.
I think we see him a bit early on.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, Shelly's a badass. She threw a TV on Stan at one point. Kenny was microwaved.
Yeah, the clone Stan monster hit him into the microwave, gave him the gremlin's death.
Yep.
And he falls out.
Done.
And the mice rip him apart.
Yeah, but one thing is like we just see Kenny Gillen there. Like, oh, I saw Kenny dies, but they don't show it until after the whole scene. Like,
it's all done. And that's the thing. The Kenny deaths right now are just so like, we got to do it. How are we gonna do it? Boom, boom, dead, pull apart, throw him in a microwave, shit like that.
Right.
They do get pretty wild and creative later on, but I'm fine with it being simple. He's dead. And still, Kyle, in both episodes, it's just him going, they killed Kenny, you bastard. They have yet to do the Stan Kyle switch.
They have yet to do that, and they've also haven't done I Learned Something Today in the past 2 episodes.
That's true. The closest thing we got to an I Learned Something Today was in the last episode where Stan gives the speech about gay people.
Right. Yeah, but I think it was like the first one was Bebe who did that. So, or somebody. So it was kind of wild that like it seemed like a ongoing joke early on, but I guess they kind of got away from it.
Yeah. Well, it was Kyle, and then it was Wendy.
Well, yeah, not Bebe. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they pick it up, and they use it more, I think, as we get going.
Last thing I have, this is the episode that Cartman makes fun of Kyle for being a Jew.
Correct.
So
there it is. Yep.
And San Francisco with all the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle's like, "There's what Jews in San Francisco?"
Yeah, it's man, so early on. It's good to start now, and they just go with it forever.
And so it begins.
So it begins. Gordon Cartman has racist, sexist, and now religious thoughts.
Yep.
I don't know why. I just have a note here. I feel like I knew it at the time. I just wrote, in quote, "Kill him and burn his body." Must have been about the clone, I'm assuming. Somebody says it. I love how they just cap him at the end. So,
yeah. Okay, it was kind of a wild fucking way to end that.
Well, actually, it gets even more wild because we learn another crazy thing about our boy, Mr. Garrison. He fucked a pig. I mean, they give little baby pig Garrison babies. Now we've learned that he's also animal fucker.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, man, Mr. Garrison, like, what's the direction he's supposed to go in? Because he's a closeted gay man to start out. They're hinting at that in the last episode, but then he just fucks a pig,
and we just move on, just like Kyle and Carmen having the elephant pig happened, and we're moving on.
Yeah, I'm looking into this. Kill and burn him. So it's the news anchor. So Stan's clone is going nuts, and there's a news clip, and the guy goes, police are requesting if you find Steve Stan Marks, kill him and burn his body."
Yes, thanks. Awesome. I thought that was funny. Just another thing that, like, there's my jokes I make to this day. Boom.
Just fucking ridiculousness.
Yeah. Find an 8-year-old, kill him and burn his body. I love the broadcaster. They're starting to kind of catch their stride with that. The early episodes, they were just kind of out there, and now they've kind of honed it. Gets a little Grand Theft Auto there.
Yeah. I agree. I'm excited for the midget in bikini, though.
I don't know when he comes in.
Well, you said the movie, so I'm not sure if it's after the movie or in that time period.
The movie took place in the middle of season 3.
We got to get there.
Oh, we will get there. And I cannot wait. That's going to be a long one. This is actually a pretty long one, too. But when we get to the movie...
Yeah, that's going to be a solid hour and a half.
That's the South Park in the Dark movie. South Park in the Dark, bigger, long, and uncut is what I'll call that one. Yeah, but like I said, once again, I liked it. It was funny. It had that South Park out there. It's shaping into the show that I know and love, and I think we're there, and it's just going to be more of that each episode. I feel like we got the opening acts out of the way, though they were good. Now we're rolling, and I'm really excited for things to come.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be really a treat for us as they add more characters and, you know, use the voices that we know. I think, you know, noticing when Clyde's voice changes and when they throw Butters and Token in there. You know, Jimmy and Timmy even. You know, again, this can be a lot of fun. But for right now, I'm enjoying Mr. Garrison and Chef and their antics, and I hope we see more of them.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, this shit's been out for a few decades now, so I'm sure we will.
We're gonna get a lot of them. A lot. I love when South Park branches off to like full on episodes based on side characters.
Yeah.
That's what I really like. Love it. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say about this episode? Elephant makes love to a pig?
No. That's all I got. I think, you know, for me, the biggest part of this episode, I liked Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride a little better. But I think for me, you know, we get to see how Cartman just becomes a complete asshole all the time a little more. So excited to see where that takes off for him.
Yeah, they barely touched him, really.
Right.
Cool. All right, then. Well, I'd say that is the episode. Thank you, everyone, for watching South Park in the Dark here at the Nerd Shit in the Dark or Entertainment Spotify channel. So, yeah, we have an episode out every Wednesday. And look out for Nerd Shit in the Dark, which comes out every other Tuesday. I plan on keeping that going. Like us, follow us. On that note, guys, we will catch you later. Say bye, Swag.
Bye, Swag.
Well, screw you guys, I'm going home.